Hi there, welcome back to another episode of The Art of Business English. Well, this week I do have a quick episode for you, and it's on a common problem that people often have with knowing the difference between certain pronunciation and certain spelling of words that sound the same, but in fact they have different meanings. So what we'll be looking at in this episode is basically, in the first part, I'll cover words that have very similar spelling, okay, but they have a different meaning. And then in part two, I'll be looking at words that have very similar pronunciation, but they have a different meaning, okay? So a quick episode for you today, just to help clarify these words that have similar meaning or similar pronunciation, similar spelling but different meaning. Okay, so let's have a look then at the first list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn now to my computer and we're going to have a look at list one. So the first word is altogether, which means completely, altogether. So it's spelt ALTOGETHER. Okay, so altogether, and it means completely. Whereas if you spell all together separately, so TOGETHER, it means a group of things or people in one place. And the next word is effect. So EFFECT. So effect. Now, bring about or make, which as a verb, so to bring about or make something happen, or a result as a noun, okay? So bring about or make as a verb, or a result as a noun. So that's important because it's very similar to the word affect, which is spelled AFFECT. So, I mean, these two words are commonly confused. And even by native people, you'll see them confused in writing. So affect, spelled AFFECT, this means to have an effect on something, okay? So effect is bring about or make happen, and affect is to have an effect on something, okay? All right, the next word is lose. So if you lose something, that's a verb. To lose is perder. So it's fail to have or find, okay? However, it's very close in spelling to loose, which is LOOSE. And loose means that it's not tight. So suelto or no muy ajustado. And then you can see the difference. I mean, they're very closely spelled. To lose is LOSE and loose is LOOSE. Okay, let's look then at the next word, which is also commonly confused, and that is specially. So specially is SPECIALLY. Specially is for a special purpose, okay? So specially for a special purpose. Whereas especially, which is ESPECIALLY, this is something in particular. So especially is something in particular. So very similar and often commonly confused. Next one is a noun, which is stationary. Okay, stationary, we hear that a lot. Now, stationary is STATIONERY, stationary. Okay, and that is actually referring to paper or envelopes or post-it notes or, you know, all of that stuff, that lovely stuff that we buy for the office. Okay, and whereas the verb, the adjective stationary, which is STATIONARY, stationary means it's not moving, okay, and it's used formally for vehicles. So the car was stationary out the front of the police station, for example. Okay. What you'll also notice is with the next one, also commonly confused, principle. So That is Principle, so principle. And principle basically means it's the general truth or a standard, okay? So, the general principle of this argument is. Whereas the principal of a school is Principal. So principal is your headmaster or the head of a college, okay? And that's a very common word that we use to describe the headmaster at school in Australia as well. So those are some words which have very similar spelling, but actually mean different things. And, you really need to have clear those because they are commonly confused. As I said in the introduction, in the second part of the episode, I'm going to be looking at words which have the same or very similar pronunciation, but different spelling and meaning. Okay, so let's start with these words. The first one is allowed and allowed. Okay, so you might be confused now. Allowed, which is A-L-L-O-W-E-D, that means, you are permitted, you have permission. So I am allowed to eat this chocolate cake today. Whereas allowed, which is spelled A-L-O-U-D, it means, in voz alta, something that is said out loud or aloud. Okay, so very different meaning from allowed, which is to permitir. Okay, so that's a very common confusing sound, okay, because those two sound exactly the same. Another one that's also commonly confused is bear and bear. Okay, so a bear, as probably most of you know, is an animal. It's an oso. And a bear is spelled B-E-A-R. However, bear, which is also like desnudo or, something that is very sparse. So, for example, if you have no food in your cupboard, you could say my cupboards are bare. And that is B-A-R-E. So bare, it means that something is very sparsely populated or there's nothing covering it. Okay, so very different from the animal bear, but those two words sound exactly the same as well. The next one is fair and fair. Okay, so fair is the adjective, to be fair, justo, no? And that's F-A-I-R. Okay, so, if it's fair, or a trade fair, you could say as a noun, a trade fair. Now, those are, those are very similar in pronunciation to fare, like the train fare. Now, your train fare is the fee or the money that you pay to purchase a ticket to ride on the train. So train fare would be F-A-R-E. So very different in meaning, but exactly the same pronunciation. Now, the next one, very commonly confused, well, exactly the same sound, hair and hair. So hair, as most people would think of, is what we have on our head. So el pelo. Hair is H-A-I-R. However, it has the exact same pronunciation as hare, H-A-R-E, which is in fact an animal. It's like a large rabbit. Okay, it's very similar to a rabbit, but it's a little bit larger. Okay, and they're often hunted in the forest. So a hare is different from hair that we have on our head. And then you've got the fruit pear. Okay, so pear, which is P-E-A-R, pear, una pera. And that is different from una pareja. Okay, una pareja is pear, P-A-I-R. So the fruit and the noun have exactly the same pronunciation, pear and pear. Okay, so not to be confused there either. The next one is piece and piece. Okay, so a piece of chocolate cake is un trozo, no? So a piece is P-I-E-C-E. And peace, the path, is P-E-A-C-E. So we have peace and peace. So they're exactly the same spelling, exactly the same pronunciation, but completely different spelling. So that's also commonly confused. So the next one is very commonly confused, especially by native people, and often it's very difficult to detect when you're making this mistake because of the spelling is very similar and the pronunciation is exactly the same. So when we refer to practice, the noun, so I have football practice, entrenamiento, then it's Practice. Okay, so practice. And when we want to talk about the verb, so to practice something, then the spelling is almost the same, but it finishes differently. So it's Practise. Okay, so that's a very common mistake. You've got practice and practice, football practice, and to practice playing the piano. So one is a noun and one is a verb. And we got another one is also commonly confused, stare and stare. So, a stair, as most people would imagine, is what we climb. No, we climb the stairs. So, las escaleras. So, a stair is S-T-A-I-R. However, the verb is pronounced exactly the same. So, you've got the verb to stare, which is fijar en algo, and that is S-T-A-R-E. Okay, so to stare. And, those two can be confused a bit as well because the pronunciation is exactly the same. And another one, this one is the second last one for today's episode. However, this pair of words is very commonly confused as well. You have got the word there and there. Okay, so there is a possessive adjective, so their car, and that's spelled T-H-E-I-R. However, you've also got there, which is, for example, over there, allá, or there is a car, hay un coche. So there is spelled T-H-E-R-E. So they both have exactly the same pronunciation. However, they are spelled differently and obviously have different meanings. And the last one for today's episode is weather and weather. So you've got weather, which is el tiempo, no? Today there is really nice weather. And that's W-E-A-T-H-E-R. Whereas you've also got weather, which is like if, no? I'm not sure whether I will go to the party, which is similar to I'm not sure if I will go to the party. And that is actually spelled W-H-E-T-H-E-R. So very similar, well, practically the same, the pronunciation, but the meaning is completely different, okay? So those are some very commonly confused words that I wanted to share with you guys because, sometimes at the level of pronunciation, it's very difficult to know which one people are referring to. Obviously, most things are context. And, I also wanted to share it with you because when you're writing, many people make mistakes with their writing with these types of words. So if you do have any questions regarding these types of words, then please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. And that's basically all I have time for today. So I hope you're loving the content this year. I hope you're enjoying what we have been providing for you since, January 2019. Basically, I've been having a great time. I've been working on a lot of stuff. I've been trying to provide as much valuable content as possible. But if you do have anything that you would like me to specifically work on or explain for you, then please send me an email. You can do that by sending an email to aobe@theartofbusinessenglish.com. And we'll be more than happy to work on putting together some content for you, making sure that you guys have got exactly what you need. Okay, well, that's pretty much all we have time for today. If you would like to watch the video, obviously you can on our website, and we'll be putting that up soon. Also, if you guys would like to improve your vocabulary and your collocations, then please feel free to grab a copy of our 500 Business English Collocations for Everyday Use. It's a fantastic book. And shortly we'll have the pronunciation accompanying that. So, it's sort of like an ebook as well, or an ebook that you can read, and also an audiobook that you can listen to, which will be helping you to improve your pronunciation. Well, my friends, as always, I hope you have a great week. That's all I have time for you today. And I look forward to hearing your comments and getting your feedback. So take care. Bye for now.